Hello there and welcome back. Today, let us build a desktop application that is responsive in Qt and QML. We shall be working with Qt version 6.7 because one of the features we'll be utilizing called LayoutItemProxy was introduced in Qt version 6.6. So this is an sample application we shall be building today, having the main content area, a side menu, and then the top bar here. So here will be actually, if you reduce the size of this window, of course, at some point, at some set breakpoint, the side menu actually collapses to become a minified version. And if you continue reducing that size beyond some limit also, the sidebar completely gets removed, but you can get it back by dragging in from the side. So it's actually a drawer. So let's build this application. So let me spin up my Qt creator and let's get started. So we'll be creating a Qt quick application. Select Qt quick. Let's give it a name. Let's just call it responsive. Qt6. Let's click just next. Next. I will be adding my application. I will be building it in desktop mode only. So select desktop. I'll be pushing to GitHub, so select GitHub here and then finish. So that will take a couple of seconds to configure. CMake will just take a couple of seconds, and then once done, you'll be getting the default configuration for CMake list.txt file, which will not be editing anything here, so close it. We shall be working mostly from the main.qml file here. So this is the main.qml file. So first and foremost, let's run this application to see what actually happens. Just confirm that everything is up and running. So we're getting an empty QML window, which is actually correct. Close that. Let's set this application to width, let's set to 1020, make it a bit bigger, a height to 720, and then let's change the title to responsive app. So that's all we need for now. If you run the application, nothing has changed except the dimensions. Let's build that, and it's still the same. So as shown earlier, we'll be having three elements in our UI. We have the side menu, we have the main content area, and we have the top navigation bar. So let's begin by building those three elements. So I'll write here and say the side menu. I'll make it from a rectangle. Similarly, I'll just do the top bar. I'll make it so still from a rectangle. And then for the main content, I still make it from a rectangle. So let's just put in a rectangle here. So let's give an idea of the main content. Let's give it an idea of top bar, and this will be an idea of side menu. So for the side menu, we shall be working the dimensions of around 200. So I'll give it a width of 200. So let's have all these items in a layout. So let's import Qt quick layouts here. That should give us access to the row layout. So we shall be working with the row layout first. We shall close it down here. Nice. So let's make the row layout field the parent. We shall give it a spacing of 1. That way, just for aesthetics, nothing specifically. And then for the side menu, let it fill the height. So we shall do layout that fill height. Then for these two items, they are supposed to be stacked vertically together. So we'll add a new layout here. We shall use a column layout. Then let me format that. For the column layout, we'll make it fill the remaining width and height space. So do fill width and set it true, do fill height and set it to true. For the spacing, I will leave it as default. For the top bar, for the height should be constant, so we'll leave it at a value of 60. And then for the width, we're supposed to fill the whole available width, so I'll do layout.fill width. Then for the main content area, it's supposed to take over all the remaining space, so just let it fill height and width. I set it true. So let's try and see if we can visualize the current. So let's set colors here. Let's do a color of red. Let's do a color of green. Let's do a color here of, let's even do orange. So apologies if these colors will be unsuitable for a UX person. This just for demonstration purposes. So let's run and see if everything is still in good shape. Nice. So we have our sidebar with the main content area, and then we have our top bar here. So we can begin by let's first set. So if you see that if you reduce these dimensions to some limit, nothing changes actually. So it's currently not responsive. How to fix that? Quite easy. So we'll begin first by removing all these elements we had, and then we'll use a layout item proxy to refactor them. So how to do that? I will bring here layout item proxy that way, and then one of the parameters it requires is the target. For this case, we'll be working with the top bar item here, and then similarly for the dimensions, we'll leave it inside the proxy item. That way we can go to manipulate different dimensions from that. So similarly, let me copy and paste this. And for this case, we'll be working with the main content. We also need to fill the height. So I'll just copy this only here. So these two items, I can remove them out. Then similarly, let me also copy the layout item proxy and also have it here. This will fill height. Then the width, then the width of 250. I'm supposed to copy them out, not there. So I'm supposed to come here. So for the side menu itself, cut it out. So if you paste it outside here, so if you run this, nothing should essentially change. It should still give us a similar output as before. So there's a similar output. I think I might have messed the colors. Not really supposed to be red. So I've done a mistake somewhere. Let me just confirm. Oh yes, so it's supposed to be side menu. Apologies for that. So if you run it again, that's now correct. So one thing about layout item proxy, it can refer to layout item proxy items can refer to the same component. In this case, maybe side menu, top bar, or main content, but only one of these items should be visible at any given time. So, so for this case, this actually is a layout for the desktop. So if you want maybe to have a different layout, let's say for the tablet mode, So we can copy this, duplicate it here. So in the tablet mode, the only thing that changes maybe is the side menu being changed maybe into a minified version. Let's do a width of 70. And then in a mobile state, we can still duplicate this and just implement it. So we'll do here for mobile. Should be for mobile. So I've just copied over the one we had for desktop. Here should be tablet, and then that's for mobile. So for mobile, everything should be in a column. So I'm gonna remove the LayoutItemProxy from there. So remove this. Let's format this again. And this should be a column layout. So for them, it should be a column layout, field width. This should not be there. Yeah, so that should work. So the only issue now we have is if you try running this application, I'm not sure if it will actually run. It might run, yes, but we'll not actually see. So you are seeing kind of we have the red item showing. So all of these layouts are actually being shown on the screen. So how to ensure that the right layout only shows? Then we have to know what is the current dimensions. So the best way is you can set a property here of type boolean. I can do is mobile. So I'll say a mobile screen is defined by the width being, let's say, less than a value of 400. So I can do here width being less than 400. Similarly, I can do property bool is tablet screen. So first and foremost, it's a tablet if it's not a mobile. So I'll begin with it's not a mobile screen, and then also the width has to be less or equal to, let's say, a value of 750. So here I also do equal to, and then I'll do 450. Then lastly, for the desktop, I'll do is desktop. So it's not a mobile, and also it's not a tablet. Nice. So that will have both covered. So in the last column layout, we'll set the visibility to is mobile. For the tablet one, we'll set the visibility to is tablet screen. And then for the desktop, we'll set the visibility to is desktop. Nice. So if we run this application now, so currently we're having a bigger width. So these are desktop mode. So that's why you can expand it. It still works. You can maximize it. Nothing changes. So, but if you reduce it to some points, now the side menu has been collapsed to a minified version. If you continue to reduce the size, then it actually gets removed completely, and now we can't access the side menu anymore. So to fix that issue, maybe one of the ways you can do is to have a drawer whereby if you're using normally Android, you can have a drawer where you can swipe from the left to have a drawer window which has additional menu items. Another way is to have a button here on the top that actually once you click on it, it opens additional menus. Another way is to have a bottom navigation bar added to this screen. And now from that menu, you can have the same buttons you had on your sidebar being added here. So all of them are valid. So for our case today, I'm just going to add the drawer here. You can feel free to change and do it the way you decide to have it. So to use the drawer components, we have to import the Qt controls. So that should enable us to access the drawer. So I'll come here on top and I'll just do a drawer item. So first and foremost, I'll give it a width of let's do 300, a height of parent.height. So when it's open, actually takes the full height. There's a property called interactive. Interactive basically says you can vote to pull it from the left edge, and I will do it's on interactive if it's mobile screen. The edge to use, I will do Qt left edge, and that should be the basic setup. So let's also set the background for that. We'll do a rectangle. Let's do a color of let's do EEE. Okay. So for the main content, we have the content item. So just like the other way we're adding the items for the other layouts, let's also use the layout item proxy. And then for the target, we'll utilize the side menu still. So for the width, I will do drawer.width. And for the height, I will do drawer.height. So I've not defined this drawer I'm referring to, so that should be defined here as its ID. Nice. So with that, I think we should have done with that. So let me run it. So let's try and take this width down. The side menu gets collapsed. Then let's try and drag in. Awesome. So we get this zone up and running. I know maybe you might be asking now. We just set this color to a shade of white, but you're getting red here. This red actually comes from the side menu itself. It's supposed to be red. So it's actually coming on top of this. So this actually is a simple way of actually ensuring that you have responsiveness. I can try and see if we can implement maybe the side menus. Let's remove the color red. Let's give it a color of that color. Inside here, let's create a column. In this column, let it fill the all item. So we shall not be adding any margin. So let's do a spacing, let's say of 8. Inside here, because I don't want to type in all those elements inside it. Let's use a component control called repeater. For repeater, I will give it a width of parent.width. Then I'll give it a model. A model basically gives it the items how many times it should repeat the item under it. So let's give it a model of 5, and then give it a delegate, the item to be repeated. Let me give it an item here. For the width, I will give it a width of let me refer to the side menu. Yes, side menu.width. And then for the height, let me give it a height of, let's say, 50. Awesome. Here now, let me use a row. So this row item will have 2 items. I'll put an icon and then the text item for the menu itself. So inside the row, I will have the first item, which will have the icon. I will do a width of 70 and a height of 50. and then inside of it I will also add a rectangle just to show something like an icon. I will do a width of, let's say, 40 and a height of 40, and the color, automatically the color will be white. Yeah, it should be white. Let me just add the radius. Let me give it a radius of about 8, and then similarly let me have a text item here. So let me align it vertically center. Similarly, let's align this rectangle at the center. So anchors dot center in parent. Yes. Let me give it a left padding. Let's give it about 8. Let's give it a text. I'll call it menu, give it a space, and then I'll append the menu ID. So I will do index. Let me add 1, then convert it to string because I'm concatenating it to a string. And then for the font size, let's do 16. That should be enough. So let's save that, and then let's run the application. If everything was okay, everything should run correctly. Yeah, so we are getting these menus here. You have menus, and then you have things like this. Basically represents the icons you're going to have in this side menu. So you can even add your own, maybe some company information. Maybe you have some name of your company, you want to start it on the top here, maybe some banner image, and then the menus can now come for that. So similarly, if I reduce this to a smaller size, you now remain only with the icons. And if I go even lower, and then I can drag in, you still get the same draw. So that's actually how you can implement a very simple responsive app in Qt QML. Quite very simple with the introduction of the layout item proxy, and quite very useful. If you look at the initial application I had shown, let me switch to that. This is the application I showed earlier. So it's quite complete, and I'll be sharing this GitHub link in the video description, showing you actually how to, giving you the full source code to this implementation. It's quite similar to the one you've done just right now. So the only difference being this one has already been implemented for the other items, like the main content, the top navigation, and the rest. So it's quite similar, quite some minimal changes here and there, but basically you get the idea how you can be able to do it. So it's quite easy, as a very nice feature in Qt version 6.6 going forward, and I hope to see some awesome things you build using this feature. Thank you for sticking to the end, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.